Hi everybody, I'm Keith Burgun. I'm very excited to announce the launch of the 1.25 version of Gem Wizards Tactics, which is probably the largest patch that we've had maybe in Gem Wizards Tactics history. This patch has two major components: the introduction of an all-new faction to the game, and numerous polish and usability features that should make the game way easier to learn. Gem Wizards Tactics is getting an all-new faction, introducing the Neverending Party. The Neverending Party is a loose federation of musicians, artists, and political activists who have come together to not only help protect their lands, but also to have parties all the time and never ever stop. Like other factions, the Neverending Party has 7 units. However, one central concept for this faction is that they can apply a buff to any unit, which is called Neverending, which means that when that unit dies, it'll come back as a fanatic for their team. Fanatics are their basic foot soldiers. They have extremely low stats, including a max health of 5, but when they group up, they make each other a lot stronger. Their wizard, Eve Williams, can toss doom baubles full of fire and broken glass at an area, immobilizing units who walk through those tiles. She's also got the ability to give units in an area the Never-Ending buff, either enemies or friends. This way the factions can start to overwhelm their opponents with just raw numbers. Liches have a ranged attack called Death Bolt that deals 1 damage, or 3 damage if the unit has 5 or fewer health. But also, every time you kill with Death Bolt, you collect 1 soul, and Death Bolt deals 1 extra damage for each soul you have. So Death Bolt is the sort of econ type of ability that gets stronger and stronger the later the game goes. And you could be one-shotting people at the end of the game if it's powerful, if you've charged it up enough. Guitarists have an AoE attack with a new shape that deals damage and reduces enemy attack power. It can also shatter gems in the area of effect, dealing extra damage if a unit was on the tile with a gem. Mobility in general can kind of be tough for this faction, but at the same time, most of their units have some way to help each other move. The guitarist has Band Together, which pulls units towards them. The fanatics have Move Together, which lets them move any adjacent unit that has Never-Ending the way that they move. Eve Williams can give out AP and free attacks to units. The roadie can pull, and the lich can push. The Zeppeli Zamboni can even bounce your units as well if you're willing to take the 1 hit point damage. I think one of the coolest things about the Neverending Party is their new amplifier units. Amps are big, heavy objects that have 1 spell, Amplify, which gives all adjacent units the amplified buff. But what is the amplified buff? It increases the range of all your abilities that are ranged abilities by 2. And you can actually stack this buff if you have multiple amps. So the amount of crazy amount of distance you can get on certain abilities is gonna be, I think, very surprising and fun to watch. Overall, the Neverending Party is gonna be, I think, a really cool faction and maybe our most strange faction yet. As always, there's going to be changes to this faction as we go forward and get more feedback. So what you're seeing in this video may be outdated, at least somewhat, if you're watching it, months or years in the future. As always, I hope that if you want to come and give your feedback on the Neverending faction or on anything else in Gem Wizards Tactics, please come join our Discord server, which you can find over at keithburgun.net. I've been thinking a lot and having a lot of conversations over the last month or so, trying to figure out what is the best thing that I can do to serve this game and make it the best that it can be. I talked it over with some other game developers, some friends, some people in the community, and ultimately what I landed on was the best thing I can do is just polish the game. Frankly, you can probably never go wrong with polish. It's just so important, I think. So there are the obvious things like cleaning up bugs and other small issues, which I've been doing a lot of. Special thanks to some of our playtesters, by the way. One of the biggest changes you'll find in version 1.25 is that there are now 3 distinct phases for each skill. When you hover the skill button, it shows you which tiles a skill could possibly impact. When you click the skill button, it shows you the possible targets. And when you hover a target, it shows you which tiles will be affected by the spell if you were to cast it here. Also, we had some spells that were like auto-cast spells that didn't have a target, and those spells before you would just click them and they would automatically happen. Now we have a second confirmation phase. So you click the spell and then you have to click on your casting unit again in order to confirm that you really want to cast it, and it will show you the preview the affected tiles for you as well. Other than that, this patch includes a bunch of updates to tooltips, bug fixes, and even some game balance stuff. It's a good time to get into Gem Wizards Tactics, so definitely please tell your friends about the game. I don't have a huge marketing budget or anything like that, so if you think the game is cool, definitely telling other people about it is the main way that anyone will discover that it exists. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned. Now go and check out the 1.25 version of Gem Wizards Tactics, and let me know what you think of it. See you next time.